আমার পিকচারটা আসছে না, আরেকজন জয়েন করলে তবে হবে। দুটোই করেছি। জয়েন করতে হবে না? এই ভদ্রলোক হচ্ছে সেন্ট ফ্রান্সিস চার্চের একজন, কি বলে,
মিউট করে কথা বলুন, সবাই শুনতে পাচ্ছে। মিউট করে দিন নিজেকে।
আনমিউট হয়ে গেছে। Good morning, Noel.
Good morning, Swami Ji. How are you?
I am okay. How are you?
Really good, thanks.
Beautiful weather today.
It is that.
Good morning, David Elliott.
Good morning, Swami.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You?
Good.
Good.
Good morning, Ravi. Good morning, Alexandra.
Good morning, Swami.
Good morning, Subhash.
Good morning, Maharaj.
Okay, let us start. Om Asato Ma Sadgamayo Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamayo Mrityorma Amritangamayo Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. The subject of my today's talk is Adorations of the Divine Mother. Those who are familiar with Ramakrishna know that Ramakrishna was a worshipper of Divine Mother. He worshipped Divine Mother in the form of Mother Kali. And during the conversations which have been recorded in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we see that he, of course, always said about Divine Mother Kali, his relationship, and we see that he is very intimately associated with Divine Mother Kali. But definitely he has mentioned about other forms of Divine Mother during his talks. And most of that other forms come from the book which is known as Chandi. Chandi is a religious book or a sort of description of Divine Mother's different appearance in different forms and activities in ancient, very, very ancient times. Ancient times means we do not know when actually those things happen. I guess it is like this, that when Vedavyasa came, the great sage Vedavyasa, who actually collected the Vedas and then what is called divided them into 4 sections or 4 categories, and gave the responsibility of study of those to his different students, and in that way he saved Vedas. Vedas were previously studied by the sages in the forests, and of course others also, Brahmins and others also studied, but they are very much they are in very scattered form. That means there is no organized way of teaching or preaching them. But Vedavyasa was a great sage, and he understood that in this way, if the studies are not really organized, ultimately they will go out of practice and out of teaching. That means people will forget about the Vedas. So he was a reformer, so he organized in that way. So Vedas are the Upanishads and other Karmakandas and all those things which are very well known at that time, and that was very standard practices that used to be done during his time. And parallel to that, there was another type of worship which is known as mother worship, which is Shakta Worship and also Tantric worship. In that way, they are parallel to the Vedic system. But unfortunately, Vedavyasa did not pay attention to that, and he did not organize them. But so as the tradition goes, so the way it was there, and they propagated by the teacher to student. In that way, they had remained, or they survived. And because of its popularity, we see that there are practices that has been done in different times by different seekers. And during the time of Sri Ramakrishna, we see that it was almost a sort of practice which was not only not unknown, but definitely secret. Secret in a sense that means that were not publicly practiced. There might be some other reasons, but definitely it was not organized properly and preached systematically. That may be one of the reasons that they did not come and become very popular, well known to general public. So we have this tradition, and Sri Ramakrishna had the opportunity of coming in contact with them. Though he started with the practice of what is called worship of, in his family there is a worship of Lord Shiva. And of course, being a priest, coming from a priestly family, he knew all gods and goddesses, but according to the requirements of the clients, if you call it, priest actually satisfy the client's desires. That means the way they want to worship. So in that way, they had to know different types of worships and different forms of gods and goddesses, and in that way he did. But later on, we see that he came in contact with this Mother Kali because of his acceptance of the priesthood at Dakshineshwar Kali temple. Then he totally immersed into that type of worship, and as we know that he was very intense in his practice and got the result of his practice, also had the vision of Mother Kali. And not only that, he did other worship Divine Mother in different forms also. Later on, of course, he ventured into other forms of Hindu practices, and further he went to practice other religions also. So let us concentrate today on the Divine Mother that used to be worshipped by Sri Ramakrishna, not exactly in the form of in the Kali temple, Dakshineshwar Kali temple, but in other forms also that we see. And during his conversation, those who have studied Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna will find that Sri Ramakrishna often referred to Chandi. So I would like to refer to one of the occasion when Sri Ramakrishna was talking about Chandi. Chandi is a part of the great book which is known as a Markandeya Purana. Purana is another group of books like Upanishads and Mahabharata. There is another group of books which is known as Purana. That means they're old stories, the old stories of the ancient times. And they are also they come in 18 forms. That means 18 main books are there, and there are some other minor Puranas also. And again, these are collected in one sense by Vedavyasa and taught to one of his disciples. In that way, the stories have come down to us. So the story comes, this Chandi story comes in Markandeya Purana, which is a story which was told by one rishi whose name was Markandeya. And the situation was like that. That means the Puranas are very interesting because they are stories only. So people like to listen to the stories. So Markandeya told this story to of his not exactly guests, but visitors, you can say. So there are two visitors, one Samadhi, another Vaishnav. That means Samadhi, another was a king. That means they were actually a very unfortunate person. That means they lost their wealth and their position and all those things, and they came to this sage in a retreat. He used to live in a retreat and asked that, sir, we have lost everything, and we have been driven away by my family. And king said that, well, I have been driven away because my ministers and all those things just made some conspiracy. So I lost my kingdom, and so I am just frustrated. But the point is this, that though I have left them, we do not really forget them. That means occasionally our mind is really attracted to them. I think of the old things, though there's no connection at present with them. So that makes us very sorry, because we are ancient things that are older things that we do not have any connection with coming to our mind, and that makes us very sad. So why it is happening? That means why we remember those things and they are making us very sad. So this Markandeya Rishi said that because of the tricks of Mahamaya. Mahamaya, that means there is a force. That means a divine force or invisible force which actually are working on your mind, and that is making you to remember the old things, and in that way you are suffering. So who is this Mahamaya? They asked. That means these two visitors asked Markandeya. Then actually he said that Mahamaya is always existing in an invisible form, and she works in that way. And in ancient times, actually, when we see she came into rescue people in different on different occasions. So one of the stories that he has said that at the time of creation, ancient creation, we know at present the most current theory is the Big Bang. Big Bang means there was something that suddenly happened from not exactly nothing, but something which was there, and it actually burst out, and in that way the whole cosmos has come into existence, and we are part of that. That means earth and sun and all those things are part of that. uh, what to say about the rest of the cosmos? So in ancient times, actually, according to the legends, when there was an occasion of starting the creation, Lord Vishnu means the ultimate reality. According to Hinduism, everything is Brahman. That means there is nothing, there is no duality. But sometimes it happens that Brahman, probably because of his, uh, we do not know why, but he wants to have some play or some sort of enjoyment, or just want to uh, uh, create something. So in that way, when the desire comes, actually the whole cosmos actually comes into existence. And in that way, the creation was starting. And he was in sleep. That means it is said that he was asleep. That means it was completely uniform situation. There was no duality. And he was just thinking, and just to give shape to his thought, he actually, from him came out one God, that means great creator. His name was Brahma. And at the same time, it is said when he was sleeping, out of his ears, two demons actually came out. Demons means, that means it was probably it was his wish or whatever it may be, came out, and they found that they also actually were spiritual. They had the opportunity of doing meditation and all those things, and they had the good fortune of having the blessings of God, that they will be invincible. So they were just playing, and in that way they saw that somebody is lying on the ocean, and something has come out of it just like a lotus, and they wanted to just in a play they wanted to destroy it. And at that time, the Brahma, that means who was in charge, the Lord Vishnu created him to, was very much afraid, and he started to wake him up, because it was beyond his power to demolish these two demons. That means uh, uh, these two persons who were trying to kill him. So he could not wake him up. Then actually he propitiated. Propitiated, he thought that, well, Lord Brahma is in sleep, asleep. So I have to wake him up. So to wake him up, we have to have some sort of what is called not exactly shock, but definitely something which is the sleep that is actually pervading him, that has to be propitiated. And then actually he propitiated this Vishnu Maya. That means the energy or the force which kept Lord Vishnu, or with the help of which Lord Vishnu was really sleeping. And then actually then Vishnu, that means that force actually woke him up, and then that two Madhu and Koitava, those two demons were vanquished. Then actually creation started. The point is that Lord Vishnu, the part which is important to us is that who is this Vishnu Maya? That means who actually kept or was inhering Lord Vishnu and kept him asleep. So this is actually the Shakti, as it is called, Adda Shakti. That means this is the original force which actually adheres in the creation, and out of which actually everything has been created. It is said in this way that the forces, all the forces that are really functioning, that means even we perceive those things, but they are mostly invisible. That means we do not see. That means gravity is there, but gravity we feel, but we do not see it. And in that way, sound is there, but we know that sound is there, smell is there, but we do not see those things, but they are existing. So all those invisible things, if you take together, and then actually it will be called Adda Shakti. That means a power which actually manifests or just create is the at the base of all this manifest world. That means which we see and perceive. See means that means we can what is called touch also, in that way through five senses what we perceive. So there is one force which is known as Adda Shakti. That means original power. So Sri Ramakrishna is saying in one of the conversations, that is, he had many disciples coming to him. So one of them was Ishan. Ishan was a thorough Vedantist. That means Brahma Sattva Jagat Mithya. That means only Brahman is true. Everything is what is called illusion. He was a supporter of that, and he practices spirituality in that line. So he did not have much of the what is called, not respect. He knew all those things, but as a practice, he did not observe what is called worship of Divine Mother. But he knew the stories. So Sri Ramakrishna is saying, Brahman is actionless. Actionless means ultimate reality, which according to Hindu philosophy and spirituality, that it is just oneness, nothing duality, no duality. What to say about multiplicity? So naturally, if there is no duality, so there is it is just inert. That means it does not work. So just like say sky, if we think of in sky, many things are happening, but sky as such is inert. It is not affected by that. So Brahma is actionless. When it is engaged in creation, preservation, and dissolution, it is called the primal power of the Shakti. That story, as I told you, that means it is a mere wish of Brahman, if you call it, that he wanted to have multiplicity or enjoy something. So in that way, when the thought came, actually, it is the action of primal energy that was created. This power must be propitiated. Then he is saying that this power, Sri Ramakrishna is saying this power must be worshipped. That means adored. That is the point. Adda Shakti has to be adored, because behind everything, Adda Shakti is really active. Though we do not see, but good and bad, whatever you say, see or feel or are happening, Adda Shakti, it is a play of Adda Shakti, we say. So don't you know that it is so written in the Chandi? So here Sri Ramakrishna is referring about that book, Chandi. It was a popular book, and many people actually study it, read it. And Ishan was a scholarly person, so definitely he knew it. So Sri Ramakrishna is inquiring, have you not read about Adda Shakti in Chandi? The gods first sang a hymn to the Adda Shakti in order to propitiate her. Propitiate her, that means so that she can listen to their prayer. Propitiation in a part is what is called an act of worship, you can say. So we propitiate somebody by offering something or by praising him, and these are the common things that we do to make other person, that means those might be a visitor or whom I am visiting. In that way, we propitiate. That means they will be able, will be gracious on us, listen to us, or if we request something, they will do us. In that way, propitiation is necessary to get something out of the propitiated entity. So the gods first sang a hymn to the Adashakti in order to propitiate her. So it is a propitiation means singing of adoration. That means hymns are there, or they impromptu composed probably the hymns, and in that way propitiated. The gods only then did Hari wake up from his yoga sleep. That means that Shakti, that means that Vishnu Maya, or the Nidra, that means the sleep power of sleep was adhering. That means when you are asleep, actually you don't know you are inert. So Brahma was like that. Vishnu, Lord Vishnu was in that form, though he was he was trying to create, but still he was asleep. So to propitiate what is called, to wake him up, naturally first thing, because he was under the spell of Adda Shakti, so the Adda Shakti had to be propitiated so that Lord Vishnu can wake up and do his duty. That means help the gods to get rid of these demons. So in that way, he pointed out, Sri Ramakrishna pointed out that only then did Hari wake up. So point is this, we have to propitiate the energy that to get something, that means to get something done, because everything is under the control of Adda Shakti. Then Ishan, that means that devotee who was a very learned person and sincere spiritual seeker, he said, yes sir, Brahma and other gods sang this hymn at the time of the death of demons Madhu and Kaitava. So Brahma actually propitiated this Adda Shakti, and then actually Lord Vishnu got up and killed this Madhu Kaitava, and because of the help that Adda Shakti gave, so naturally Brahma and other gods sang praise to him, praise to her. So this is a part of the story that sage Markandeya told the two visitor, that means Suratha and Samadhi. The name of those two persons is Suratha and Samadhi. This is one of the stories. So how actually they propitiated, that means what were the adorations. So these adorations are actually very beautiful, and not only beautiful, it is still believed that if you chant those things or read those things, actually you will not only, your mind will be full of devotion, but definitely those who are do worship and all those things with the expectation of getting something, that means sakama bhakti as you call, they can get the result. That way Brahma got the result of waking up of this of Lord Vishnu. So that is why it is, that is another reason that is also very popular. If you want something, if you chant, read Chandi with that expectation, it is believed that your desire will be fulfilled. Many people do like that, especially at the time of difficulties. That means in difficult situation, we do not, we try to get things or do things by ourselves, but there are occasions when things go beyond our what is called capacity. Somebody is very sick, so we do not know how to cure him, or if I am sick, so how to get myself cured. The doctors have failed. So in that way, actually, we take the help of divine power, and this Chandi is very geared to that, if you call it. That means that is a popular notion that by chanting Chandi, reading Chandi, and also recounting the stories, one can get that energy, and in that way one can really surmount the difficult situations. So now, because Ishan was the great scholar, so he remembered those things in those days, in time of Sri Ramakrishna. Books and all those things were there, but definitely there are sincere persons who committed to memory many good verses, and Ishan actually recited a few verses related to the story which Ramakrishna was referring. So these few lines of that verse, that collection of verses, this Tong Swaha, Tong Swadha, Tong Hi Vasatkara, Swaratvika, Sudha tamokshare nitte tridha matra trikasthita. Ardha matra sthita nitta janucharja visheshata. That means Swaha, Vasat, and Swadha art thou. That means Mother, Divine Mother, Adda Shakti. The form of the Divine Mother actually is imaginary form, we can say, that probably the sages might have in a vision have seen, and that has been come out and in that form actually they are worship. Images are made according to the description that they have put down, and in that way the different forms are there. So he is saying Swaha, Vasat, and Swadha art thou. Thou art the inner self of the mantra. These are the what is called these three words are related to offerings. That means different types of offerings. That means gods and goddesses are propitiated by offering. So this Swaha, Swadha, and Vashatkara, these are the what is called end words of offerings. So in that way, he is saying, thou are the inner self of the mantra. Mantra means, mantra, as you know, they are the sacred composition, and they relate to something or some god and goddess. So the point is this mantra and the object for which the mantra is composed, they are same. They are the sound symbol of the what is called the object for which it is sent. So they are equal in that way. So it is said that if you think something, some form, naturally in the mind, you will have the word for it. Suppose I am thinking of, say, what is called a peacock. So naturally, it has a form, it is in my mind, and at the same time, the word is uttered. So the word is the representation of the form that is there. So the interrelation is like that. So he is saying that these mantras are you yourself. In that way, they are saying Adda Shakti, that means that image of the ultimate reality, ultimate force is you are the object of this mantra. Thou, the nectar of immortality, O everlasting one, eternal and unutterable art thou. Yet thou art manifest in the three mantras and the half mantra. So in that way, they are saying that though you are really invisible, that means you cannot see, but still you manifest, because of you, manifestation is really working. And then this you manifest through these mantras. That means when you utter this mantra, naturally we think of you, and in that way you are existing. That is the point. Mantras are really remembrance of what is called something which you cannot see and invisible, and in that way mantras actually lead us to the what is called vision, because the relationship is there. One part we know, but other part we do not know. I said about peacock. Peacock we have seen, that is why when you say peacock, the image will come. But when I say, well, Mother Durga I have not seen, but people have seen. That is why they have related that image with the Durga. So we hope that when we utter Durga, the vision will come. So in that way, actually, mantra and image work together. Then he is saying that Tamevo sa tang savitri tang devo janani para tai dharjate sarvam tai tat srijjate jagat. O goddess, thou art Savitri. Savitri means there is a footnote, which means the presiding deity of Om, the essence of the Vedas. That is the, Om is another word we often come in Hindu scriptures. That is the sound symbol of the ultimate reality. That means Brahman. So there is a mechanism, if you call it, that means sound, when the sound is uttered, then actually that sound covers the whole sound spectrum. So in that way, Brahman covers everything. That means created, uncreated, if you call it. So in that way, everything is covered. So that is the best way to signify or point out Brahman, because sound, Om sound covers all sound symbol, and Brahman actually covers everything. So this coverage of everything is very symbolically represented by the sound symbol Om. So that is why he is saying, O goddess, thou art Savitri. That means Om. Thou art the ultimate mother. Mother means creator. Mother actually, first criterion of motherhood is a creation. That means then of course preservation, and then of course what is called what is called destruction is also in the hands of mother, that we see according to scriptures. But definitely we relate to mother as a creator. So he is saying, thou art the ultimate mother. All things have their support in thee. That means you are preservers also, because a child is born, so naturally you protect and what is preserved, and then grows up. In that way, you are supporting the child. So all things have their support in thee, by whom this universe was made. So in this way, that means, though we say Brahman is everything, but Brahman has one aspect which we do not see, by which actually all the things are being functioning, which is Adda Shakti. So the sages actually propitiated that energy, and in that way they got rid of this trouble that they are facing. So in that way, the mother is propitiated. Continuing, they are saying, O goddess, thou sustainest all, and all by thee is devoured. That means ultimately you maintain them, and definitely there is destruction also. In Hinduism, the after creation, preservation is there, and destruction is also there if somebody cannot get out of this cycle of birth and death. So naturally, our body, that means material things, will perish. So our body is made of the material things, so it will perish. So he is saying that, well, you are also the what is called the controller of this destruction. That means all by thee is devoured. That means as if you kill or eat, if you call it. Devour is a sense of eating is there, that as if you gulp everything. Then continuing is saying, Toi tat pallate devi tamat sante cha sarvada Visristo Srishti Rupatam Sthiti Rupacha Palane Tata Sanghiti Rupante Jagatasya Jaganmaya. Thou, it is that we call the creator, when thou createst the world, O embodiment of creation. Thou, it is that we call the preserver, when thou preservest it. Thou, it is that we call the destroyer, when thou destroyed it. So in that way, actually, in Sri Chandi, we see that Brahma, a goddess, actually propitiated her. It is very true. Those who can understand in a sense, that means how actually the Brahma, ultimate reality, who is inert, will have the creation. So something must be done, or second thing must come out. And this second thing is this energy, ultimate energy, this primordial energy that is really functioning. And in that way, actually, the whole creation is being created, it is being sustained, and in that way, and also it will devoured, as it is called, it will be destroyed. That means every moment something is getting destroyed. That means it is going back. People are dying, and there are many, what is called, in cosmos, some destructions are continuously going on. So things are wiping out. So in that way, it is happening. So all those three is connected at the time of what is called manifestation. That is why it is important to propitiate that energy. So this is one of the episode that we have in the at the beginning of the story, that Markanda, that Rishi actually told to those visitors. Now there are other beautiful verses that also is there. So I would like to share. That means there is a collection. That means the whole book consists of 700 verses, not exactly verses, mantras they are called. Some of them are in the form of verses, but some of them are just one line or two lines, or maybe one word also. Even in that way, it has come out to us. So it is not a what is called some edited composition that will be pleasing to our what is called study and what is called chanting. It is exactly not in that form, but the way it has come down, actually, we accept it. The great, what is called, credit must have to be given to the sages, that they never distorted to make it pleasant or what is called easy for ordinary people to utter or chant or memorize. So that is one of the great credit. There is very little manipulation in the original mantras and text in Hinduism. That means in Vedas and other scriptures. That is a great thing. That means what the sages saw and uttered and remembered, all those things. The same thing actually we are also doing now. So in that way, originality has been maintained. So in other places also we see, I am just concentrating today on the what is called the adorations, different ways or different verses of adoration that has been directed to Divine Mother. That means this primal energy. One of them is there in the, it is also from Sri Sri Chandi. So it is Devya Yata Tatamidam Jagadatma Shakta Nishesha Deva Gana Shakti Samuha Murta Tam Ombikam Akhilo Deva Mahorshi Puja Bhakta Natasma Vidodhatu Shubhani Sana. O Divine Mother, thine energy pervades this entire universe. Thou embodies the powers of diverse presiding deities. This presiding deity is a concept is there, and that needs to, because in Hinduism people are really flabbergasted how why there so many gods and goddesses are there. They are actually not what is called many gods and goddesses, but different forms of the original. That means one God or one ultimate reality. The reason is this, that means there are different, we live in the world of multiplicity. So we see things in different, as different. So naturally this difference, that means suppose I am hungry. So naturally hunger is a power, if we call it energy. So it has one function, that it came from the ultimate energy, but it is in one form it has come. So they are deified because I have to appease hunger. So naturally I have to propitiate a god and goddess that is easy for me to think of the energy. So in that way, different gods and goddesses have been created or existing. That means it exists, but we think as different gods and goddesses, though ultimately it is the one from one energy that is functioning here. Because of our eyes are trained to multiplicity. That is why you need to have different forms and forms of gods and goddesses or the energies manifestation. So we cannot really easily connect why this hunger is connected with the baby storm. Storm is also another energy, but I cannot really connect it. So naturally storm is another god or goddess, and in that way different gods and goddesses are there. But on the back actually one energy is there, which we see in multiple form. So that is the way we have to, that is the way we have to think how these gods and goddesses are really existing, and how actually it has come from the one there is a central origin of these gods and goddesses. Thou embodies the powers of diverse presiding deities. These presiding deities are the different gods and goddesses or different energies. For water there is another one god. For what is called, for sun there is one god. For air there is another god. So in that way different gods are called presiding deities, because we see them in different forms. So naturally if they are deified, if they are given the form, so naturally they will be different. So in that way thou embodies, that means you are made, you made yourself into different gods and goddesses. Thou art the object of worship to all the gods and sages. Thou art the object of worship. That means ultimately you are supreme. So different gods and goddesses, that means these smaller energies that has come out of it, they are also indebted to you. So naturally you become object of their worship also. And of course, what to say about the sages who are human beings. Gods and goddesses, when they are presiding deity, so naturally they do not have physical form just like human beings, but definitely they have some energy. That storm is an energy, sun is an energy. So naturally they have form, but they are not like human form. So naturally they also, because they are part of it, so naturally they also propitiate. We are also part of that divine energy, ultimate reality. So we are also, we have to propitiate. That means we are small and you are great. In that way, propitiation is important. Do thou bestow on us what is auspicious. So naturally it is a begging, that means prayer, and we ask, that means we do not know what is good for us. Many people, that means though we see or we do thinking that it is good for us, but ultimately it may not happen like that. That means auspicious things, we give the responsibility of selecting what is auspicious to us to ultimate reality. That means a primal energy. Give only things which are really auspicious to us. In that way, we live giving as well as selection to that entity. Because we are ignorant in a sense that today we are thinking that is good for me, tomorrow that is not working, so you think that another thing will be good for us, so you seek that. So probably if we pray for one thing today, probably have to abandon that tomorrow and then again ask for another thing. So in that way, we are really so ignorant that you just give what is really auspicious to us. We bow down to thee in devotion. So we actually, what is called, pay our respect to you out of devotion, because you are so superior and we are so humble. We have to be very humble, and we do not know what will happen, what will be good for us. So you just do what is good for us. Continuing his, it is that adoration says, Ya Sri Swayam Sukritinam Bhavaneswa Lakshmi Papatmanam Kritodhiyam Hridayesu Buddhi Shraddha Satang Kulajana Prabhavasya Lajja Tang Twang Natasma Puripalaya Devi Vishwam. Thou art good fortune itself in the dwellings of the virtuous, and ill fortune in those of the sinful. You see that good and bad is a relative term. Something which is good for me may not be good for you, it may be bad for you. So there are definitely what is called unfortunate people, those who have infortune, because their actions, that means they did not know what is good, so did something which is what is called brought maybe disaster to them, or maybe there are certain actions in the nature also that may become being disaster. So whatever it may be, so there is good and bad in the within ourselves and also in nature. So the propitiator is saying, that means worshipper is saying, thou art good fortune itself in the dwellings of the virtuous. That means in general, those who are virtuous, that means those who follow the scriptures, they say, scriptures say that this is good for you and you follow this path. Suppose truthfulness. So it is a virtue and you follow that. And ill fortune to those who are sinful. Anger, such as things are sinful things. In scriptures it is said, but sometimes actually we are immersed in anger also. So naturally it is a sinful act. So naturally consequences will be what is called negative. That means it is an ill fortune will come to us. So, but both are your. That means that is also energy. Anger is also an energy, but is a negative energy. So both are existing. And the theory of good and bad is that without bad we cannot really understand good. That is why bad is there. And in the same way, if it is good, then if what is bad, if you do not know, actually you will not really give that up. That is also true. So in that way, always there is two things in this, contradicting things are existing together, just to give us the knowledge, which is actually power. Through the power of discrimination, we can really find our way to goodness. That is the point, which will take us to liberation. But the existence of the both is there, and both have come from the ultimate reality. Thou art intelligence in the intelligent, faith in the heart of the devotee, and modesty in the highborn. So these are the good qualities that actually what is called supplicant is saying, that you are intelligence in the intelligent. That means buddhi, as it is called. By intelligence, actually we can discriminate things, and in that way it is very helpful. And it is said that you are also intelligence. That means that power of intelligence, that means power of discrimination, is you. It has come from you. Faith in the heart of the devotee. Faith is very important for a devotee. That means something which we do not know. We have only heard or read or whatever it may be, and whether we have not seen, perceived it. So till then, actually, it is faith is very important. For Sri Ramakrishna, you see that faith actually took him to the self-realization. He had tremendous amount of faith. So he thought that yes, if God is here, that means he must be seen and he must come. And in that way, he, with great faith, actually, he propitiated puja and all those things, worship and all those things is a sort of propitiation. So he, by doing all those things, actually, because with the help of faith, actually, he had that he had the success, that means vision. For everybody, it is like this. To the extent we have faith, actually, we are successful in spiritual pursuit because things are invisible, imperceptible, which we are really seeking. Do thou, O mother, protect this universe. So it is a propitiation. That means they are saying that protect this universe because there are negative forces are also acting. And so from that, you actually protect us. Negative forces means there are three types of negative forces. That means which inhere us. That means disease and all those things. Second is that something may happen to us. Somebody may do something to us in that way also. Suppose there is I'm walking on the street and somebody may can shoot me also. It may happen like that. So some person may do what is called maybe the cause of my misfortune. It may happen. And also there is nature. You see this fire and all those things. Fury of nature. So these are all the part of the what is called divine energy. So he is saying that we propitiate, that means you protect us from this type of devastating things. So that is, do thou, O mother, protect this universe. So these are the what is called prayer to the primal energy. Then he is saying, Ya mukti hetu ravichinto mahabrata tam abhassase sunyatendriyo tattva sare. Moksharthivir munivir rasta samasta dosoi vidyasi sa bhagavati paramahi devi. That means O mother divine, O mother divine, thy virtues are inscrutable. Thou art the supreme knowledge, the cause of liberation. Thou art sought after by the sages who are eager for salvation, who have fully controlled their senses and who are free from all faults. So this means that thy virtues are inscrutable. Inscrutable means that is imperceptible. We do not see virtues, but we can feel. But because by the result, we can figure out that this is really virtue. So inscrutability is because of this imperceptibility. Thou art the supreme knowledge, the cause of liberation. Supreme knowledge means the knowledge which actually takes us to the spiritual realization. According to Hinduism, liberation is the goal. Liberation means getting out of the cycle of birth and death. That has to be understood, that we are really continuously being born and dying. So it is happening. So to get out of this cycle is the liberation. And the knowledge that is that has come down. It is said that God himself had taught the path of liberation. That means this way actually you follow and you will get liberation. So he's saying that you are this supreme knowledge itself. Knowledge is power. So it is yourself, and that actually causes liberation. Thou art sought after by sages who are eager to salvation. Sages means spiritual seekers. Sages are sincere spiritual seekers. That means we are also seekers, but that means we are doing spiritual practices. But in ancient times, they used to go outside. Of course, now also there are many places where the people go out of the what is called village and town and all those things in a secluded place, a place of pilgrimage or secluded place in the forest or in the mountain top. In some caves. So in that way, they really sincerely do spiritual. Sought after means that means they sincerely do spiritual practice, probably practice of devotion or practice of meditation, all those practices that have been prescribed, they do. And who are eager to salvation. and who have fully controlled their senses and who are free from all faults. So these type of persons, actually, you are the object whom actually these type of persons who are really without fault and their senses are controlled and they are very eager for liberation. They are looking for you. So you are the object of their what is called pursuit. Then he is saying, then actually this is a lengthy portion is there where all the what is called all the different forces that are working in the nature, they have been deified. That means I told you that hunger is there, then what is called the storm is there, the different forces are there, so they are individually being propitiated. That means you are part, or they are the part of you, and in that way individually they are being propitiated. So he is saying yadevi sarva bhuteshu Vishnu Mayati Sabdita, Namastasya, 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 Namo Namo. That means I bow down. That means salutations to the Divine Mother, the Lord's own Maya, the inscrutable power pervading all things. So salutations to her. So in that way, repeated salutations is performed. That is a part of spiritual practice. Salutation means I bow down to you. That means in that way, mind becomes humble. Humbleness is a part of the what is called purity of the mind. That means if a person's mind is very humble, actually his mind is very pure. So it is a spiritual quality. So naturally he is saying that we salute you, Divine Mother, who is a part of the Lord's own Maya. That means, as I told you the story, how actually it was inhering Lord Vishnu. So it is a part of the ultimate reality, but it is really because we are seeing your function, so naturally as if we are separating it from you, and by propitiating you, actually we shall be able to reach the ultimate reality, that is liberation. Then again he is saying yadevi sarva bhuteshu chetanatva vidiyate. That means salutations to the Divine Mother, who is known as intelligence in all beings. Everybody has, all creatures have intelligence, little bit. That means we human beings are super intelligent compared to the subhuman creatures. There's no doubt about that. But even again, amongst the human beings also, some people have super intelligence. That is also true. So that intelligence is working in every creature according to their capacity, according to their body and mind, you can say. Probably amoebas also probably have intelligence, in a sense that means they have to eat something or they have to sleep. So naturally, without intelligence, those actions they cannot do. So, but human beings have many other functions. So in that way, it is very, very developed. But still, that is a force which actually is inherent in all creatures. So they are really deified. So he is saying salutations to the Divine Mother, who is known as intelligence in being. So it is Chetaneta Vidhiyata. Chetan is a technical term, or Sanskrit term for this type of intelligence who is really functioning everybody. So ultimate reality in the form of this Chetan actually is being propitiated because they are perceptible. That is the point. Because we are not seeing her, so naturally some forms which are really perceptible. Though Chetan actually we cannot see, but we can perceive it. Intelligence we can perceive it. Somebody is intelligent, we say yes, that person is very intelligent because we perceive it. So in that way, it is perceptible, but we cannot really see it. So in that way, it is a part of you. So we salute you in that form. Then he is saying, Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samsthita. Salutation to the Divine Mother, who exists in all beings in the form of power, physical power. That means, elephants are there, tigers are there, lions are there, and also there are cats and dogs, and we human beings also there. There is varying type of physical powers that are existing within us. So that power is a part of the greater power, which is primal energy. In different forms, according to their capacity, they are really utilizing it. It is being utilized through this type of creatures. So that is your manifestation. We really perceive that we do not see because it is invisible. What power I have, you do not know. What power you have, I do not know. So it is quite invisible. But when it is manifested, probably you can lift probably what is called 80 pounds. I cannot lift that much, probably I shall be able to lift 20 pounds. So there's variation. that manifestation of the power is there, but it is different in different creatures. So in that way, that power which is really functioning within us, that is also you. So in that way, it is being propitiated. So then he's saying, Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu Shanti Rupena Samsita. That means salutations to the Divine Mother who exists in all beings as forgiveness. Forgiveness is a great quality. That means I forgive you, or I'm being forgiven by you. So this is a part. We perceive this thing. That means, yes, you have what is called done something wrong to me. I forgive you. I don't take offense into it. I just will not go to the court, sue you. It is not like that. So by forgiveness, that is an act, but it is a mental faculty. So this mental faculty of forgiveness also you in that way, she is being propitiated. Then of course there is Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu Shanti Rupena Samsita. Salutations to the Divine Mother who exists in all beings in the form of peace. Peace is the tranquility. That means control of the mind brings peace. So it is acceptable, it is available to everybody. So it is a matter of practice, or under some certain situation also, mind become peaceful. That means if something is very beautiful and we feel the mind automatically becomes peaceful. Suppose you see a beautiful sunrise, so your mind is drawn towards the sunrise, you watch it, and at that time mind becomes very tranquil. So the force of tranquility is within ourselves, but it comes into what is called in existence through some outside stimulation, if you call it. But it is really existing inside us, and that is also part of the ultimate reality, that my ultimate energy, primal energy. So it is propitiated in that way. So in this way, we see there is when we go through these verses, there is a list of many other qualities that has been said. That means probably how many? Probably about 2 dozens of different forces which we perceive but we do not see. So they are being really propitiated. That means you are part of that in that way. Part by part, actually, the propitiation of the Divine Mother is going on. So in this way, we see that this is a part of worship, a spiritual practice, the propitiation, adoration, and that makes us very tranquil in a sense. And also at the same time, as I told you, Sri Sri Chandi is very useful, or people take the help of Sri Sri Chandi to get their desire fulfilled. Suppose I am a monk, but I should not have any desire, but definitely I have a desire to get liberation. There is no doubt about that. So I can take help of Sri Sri Chandi, propitiate what is called Divine Mother, and ask for granting me liberation. Probably if you are in a different situation, of course you know, but probably it is not in a list of priority. Probably you will like to have some promotion in your what is called in your office. So naturally you will pray to Divine Mother to fulfill your desire. So for the fulfillment of desire, actually Sri Sri Chandi, chanting of Chandi, worship of Sri Sri Chandi is really a very one way of practice of devotion, you can say, though it is not the what is called most perfect way of practice of devotion, but still something is better than nothing. Lord Krishna has said that if somebody is worshipping me with desire, that is also commendable, because he's remembering me. And ultimately remembering me, probably the desire aspect slowly will come weak, and he will just seek me. That means his whole desire will be coming towards me. He will like to have self-realization. So in that way, Sri Sri Chandi is very important and has been used. You see, Sri Ramakrishna himself has referred to this book many times, because he knew that people actually use this Sri Sri Chandi, read this Chandi, or Parayan also. Parayan means systematically repeating the Chandi, all those things we do. And in that way, this is a way of adoration. Adoration is what else we can do also. Worship is also there. Chandi can be worshipped. That means in the form of the book, because he has taken so many forms. What form actually we shall worship? So in book, actually all the forms are there. So the book itself is worshipped. In that way, we can do also. So we had, I had in my mind to share these adorations. That means adoration of Divine Mother and the Divine Mother's existence, though we cannot, what is called, we can perceive, but we cannot see as such. That means we cannot, it is not tangible as such. The way we see things, form and all those things we see. The nature is there, so it is a manifestation, but we can see it. But these forces that are really existing, time to time we perceive them, and that if they're taken together, actually it is called primal energy, which has come, as you see from these stories, it is a part of the ultimate reality itself. That means it inheres it, but it can be separated, it is separated, and in that way creation has come into existence. That is the what is called teachings of the our teaching of our scriptures. Okay, so let us conclude. Before our conclusion, I would like to share, yes, next Sunday, Ishodhananda will speak on uninterrupted bliss. And after that, that means after 2 weeks, that means on October 25th, I shall give a talk on Raktabijo, legend or reality. It is a part of the one of the stories of the Sri Sri Chandi. This is the season of, it is said, this is a very auspicious season of what is called study of Chandi, reciting of Chandi, worship of Chandi. So I thought it will be interesting to recount the story of Raktabijo and find out how actually it can be related to our own lives also in the present situation that through which actually we are going. And as usual, we shall continue our Wednesday evening class on Uddhava Gita at 7:30 p.m. through Zoom. Friday, Ishwadhananda will continue his discussion group at 6 o'clock in the evening. And also on Saturday, I shall continue the discourse on Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna at 7:30 in the evening, all through Zooms. Om Madhuvataritayote Madhuksharanti Sindhavaha Madhi Santoshadhihi Madhunakta Mutosasi Madhumat Parthivogang Rajaha Madhudaurastana Pita Madhumanna Vanaspatihi Madhumagangastu Surjaha Madhirgavo Bhavantunaha Om Madhu, Madhu, Madhu. Sweet blood of winds and the oceans give forth blessedness. May the earths and plants bring us health and happiness. Sweet unto us with the nights and dawns. May every particle of Mother Earth be charged with blessings. May the heavens shower us with benediction. Sweet unto us with the noble forest trees. Sweet unto us with the shining sun. Sweet unto us with the all living creation. Om, sweetness, harmony, peace.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you very much for attending this Zoom discourse.
Thank you, Swamiji Maharaj.
Thank you.
Rams Maharaj, thank you.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Swami.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Yes, thank you very much for attending.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaskar, namaskar. All right. If there is no question, so let us conclude today's session. And we shall see you.
Thank you.